It's my pleasure. I'm Duncan Eaton. I'm Chair of Bladder Health UK to welcome you to this, the very first Bladder Health UK conference. Really appreciate you coming today. You can look at me and you can tell that I've been around for a long time. This was brought home to me earlier in the year, or late last year, when I applied to go on Love Island and they told me I was too old. And that was reinforced when I flew back just after lockdown from Boston. And the air stewardess came up to me and she said, as they do you want chicken or beef? So I said, well, the chicken, is it in pieces or is it in one big piece? And she put her hand on my arm and said, don't worry, dear, I'll cut it up for you. But at my stage of life, I'm finding it's adventure before dementia. But I've been in NHS management, or was for about 40 years, including 10 years as Chief Executive of Bedfordshire Health Authority, as it was at the time, and then 6 years heading up what was then the National Purchasing Supply Organisation for the NHS in England. Subsequently, I've got a range of commercial involvements, parliamentary roles, and roles in the NHS and the academic sector. So trying to keep myself reasonably well occupied. In that time of doing things in the health service, I had some contact with the urological specialty. But it was one of many, and I can't pretend I knew a great deal about it. But two major events have subsequently caused me to be more engaged directly. First, becoming chair of Bladder Health UK 6 years ago, in fact. And in that capacity, I've learned a great deal about the complexity of urology, the unmet need, and the distress it causes to so many people. And I'm so pleased that Bladder Health UK is playing its part in giving individual advice to help those who are suffering, and I know there are many of them, and to be the catalyst for so much social media activity, which is a key development at the moment, as we know. And that activity includes, as I say, our first national conference with its range of excellent speakers. The other more personal way I found myself involved was when I developed Burkitt's lymphoma, which had established itself, as they found out, in my urological area, if I can say that. But thanks to the urology sector at Warwick Hospital and other specialties there, obviously, especially haematology, I'm pleased to say I'm now completely clear. But I learnt so much about urology from my surgeon, who became, in fact, a member of the BHUK Medical Advisory Panel, and his nurse specialist, whose expertise made an early diagnosis. And they guided me, not just doing their part of it, but guided me through the whole system. If I can say, for those of you who understand these things, that orchidectomy was involved, then you'll know what might have gone on. But I've forgiven him for the surgeon for doing that. Without his expertise and his nurse expertise, I'm quite clear I wouldn't be here today, obviously. So some conference thank yous. Firstly, to you for coming and attending today, so please enjoy the conference. To the staff of Bladder Health UK for their efforts in organising it. I say first time, so we learnt a lot about it. Thank you to the companies who are already out there, and other organisations who are exhibiting today. Please visit their stands during the day at the break times. Some of these companies continue to support Bladder Health UK during the difficult COVID period, when I'm pleased to say, with their help and obviously the input of the staff, we kept the show on the road when many others had to close temporarily or permanently. Particular gratitude to our sponsors today, Aspire Pharma and Viatris. So at this stage, it's my pleasure to hand over to my fellow trustee, Neil Fraser, who is our conference chair and will guide us through today. Thank you and enjoy.